What it do? It's Drew Blue here. So I'm here to show y'all a something that I've done, spent hours researching on websites like iFixit, YouTube, and no one seems to have this issue, which is funny. Okay, so I'm gonna dub this the green light of death. All right, so this is for any PSP that is a model 1000, 1001, or potentially 2000, 3000. So you want to treat this basically as you would do with any board that's pretty much 10 plus years old. You know, has pretty much, like I said, been sitting around collecting dust that could eventually lead to brittle solder connection on the board with the processor chips, or it has been dropped, as in my case with this PSP that I bought for cheap, has been dropped, which any kind of vibration could cause a crack in the solder ball connections under these chips. So if you've been introduced to the yellow light of death with the original PS3, then pretty much this is just revisiting the same old trick again, and I think you know what to do from going forward. But yeah, so to fix the green light of death, first let me explain what the green light of death is for the PSP real quick, okay? This is when, say, the LCD screen is perfectly fine, everything's good, all right, battery, all that, everything's working, except when you turn on the PSP, you get a constant green light, and it stays on, all right? A bricked PSP, the green light would go off with no display, but this is the situation where the green light does not turn off, and basically it's still on as if like, hey, you know, it's working perfectly fine. However, while the computer in the board thinks that it's working properly, it's not presenting that to you visually. So basically, say it's factory reset mode and it's showing you the time and date. It's doing that, but it's not presenting that through the LCD screen. Now, like I said, LCD screen is fine. So this is why I call it the green light of death, because what this leads up to is that there's a misconnection amongst the and I'll show you on this other spare board that I have right here. I'm not entirely sure. I tried to do my research on what these chips are, but my educated guess, the Samsung board right here, as well as these two Sony computer chips, they're worth heating, as well as this fourth one. But what I did to fix this issue, and I'm going to show you right now as I get this PSP back on. There you go. So, and like I said, I did this about 4 hours ago. So what you want to do on this board, you want to have a heat gun, all right? And if for like about a minute or two, I actually did 2 waves of this. You want to just kind of like constantly add heat around these 3 big main chips right here, the Samsung and these 2 Sony chips right here. My guess is the Samsung has to be the graphics card, I'm guessing, as well as these processors, to make sure that all the solder balls underneath these chips, if they are solder balls, if there's any crack or within the connection, that you heat up the solder and basically let it form a new connection once more. So you want to do that around here for 2 minutes. I did around this chip as well just to play it safe, but mainly these 3 right here. So a couple of minutes here, I did 1 minute here, and then after that I let it sit here for about an hour or 2. And then as I come back, I put it together to see, let's see if it worked. And guess what? Yeah, it worked. I wish I could have shown you how it looked like before, but yeah. So if you have, like I said, I call it the green light of death. I'm having it in a title too. So like I said, if you have a situation where you turn on your PSP, the green light is constantly on like how it is right now. It's not shutting off after 10 seconds or so, like a typical bricked PSP would. And nothing is displaying on the LCD screen, and you know that you just got a brand new one in, which is what I did when I first got this PSP and saw nothing on display. That's the green light of death. I don't think anyone has presented that issue yet, so I'm dubbing it here. It's the green light of death. All right. You just got to reheat the solder connection under the main 3 chips, like I said, and you should be good to go. I'm not gonna say it's 100% fixed, because you never know. Maybe the board has suffered too much of damage on the chip to where the chip might need to be replaced, or there could have been some water damage. If you saw like the where is it at? I don't think it's on this one. It's on the actual PSP. Right. Oh, it's gone here. It's supposed to be here on the backside of the battery cover. Unless it's on the metal, then I could be mistaken. No, it's not even on the bracket. Oh yeah, it is on the bracket. So unless this square right here that looks like a polka dot pattern, it will turn a solid red if there was water damage. So unless your board is water damaged completely, or like I said, the chips are beyond that process, you know, it won't work, is what I'm trying to get at. But yeah, so the green light of death, this is how you can fix it. Just get a heat gun. I had a Milwaukee M18 not a few, but M18 cordless heat gun. That worked perfectly fine. It got to about 470 degrees Celsius, and I think that's about roughly around 600 degrees Fahrenheit. But that's more than enough to get the solder to, after say 30 or 40 seconds, to really start heating up and actually start to melt. So good minute or 2 minutes at the most is what I'll say, so that way you make sure you don't burn these components. I didn't use any tape. I should say I would definitely recommend for these, if you have the opportunity to put tape on that section as well as that section, you know, in that section, and kind of just focus on these 3 spots right here. But maybe you could do it how I did it and just kind of add heat around. I did it here as well. Try to avoid all these small capacitors right here and fuses, but for the most part I focus on the big black chips. All right, you do that, and more than likely you'll get the same result that I have right now. All right, if you have any questions, leave it in the description box. I basically repeated myself, I think, 3 times, but either way, hopefully you guys got the message. And like I said, I try to be as much, or give you guys as much context as I can before I end the video. But that's it. Y'all have a good one. Stay safe. And, yep, keep on gaming. I love repairing tech.